Russia's prison service says opposition leader and fierce critic of President Vladimir Putin, Alexei Navalny, has died. He was serving a 19-year sentence in a remote Arctic penal colony. Prison officials say Navalny felt unwell after going out for a walk and lost consciousness. An ambulance tried unsuccessfully to revive him. Speaking at a global security conference in Germany, U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris said if these reports are true, it would be a further sign of Russian President Vladimir Putin's brutality.
We've all just received reports that Alexei Navalny has died in Russia. This is, of course, terrible news, which we are working to confirm. My prayers are with his family, including his wife, Yulia, who is with us today. And if confirmed, this would be a further sign of Putin's brutality. Whatever story they tell, let us be clear, Russia is responsible.
Navalny's wife, Yulia Navalny, addressed reports of her husband's death at the Munich Security Conference. She said no one can trust the Russian government because it is lying constantly. But it will be brought to justice soon if her husband is dead. NCTV's Kamal Karamali is standing by with more on this. Kamal, surprising news out of Russia today. What do we know about Navalny's passing, and what other reaction are we hearing?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of world leaders, as you saw there, Renee, reacting to this news of Navalny's death, knowing that there had been other attempts on his life and that he was a target, as you can tell, allegedly from Putin and his supporters. And so have a look at, what Melanie Jolie has just tweeted out within this past hour, saying Alexei Navalny gave his freedom in the hopes of a better, more democratic future for the Russian people. Reports of his death are a painful reminder of Putin's continued oppressive regime. My thoughts are with his wife, Yulia, his family, and his loved one. UK Foreign Secretary David Cameron also reacting, saying Putin should be accountable for Navalny's death. Meanwhile, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has also given a short statement on Navalny's death. Have a listen.
For more than a decade, the Russian government, Putin, have persecuted, poisoned, and imprisoned Alexei Navalny. And now, the reports of his death. His death in a Russian prison. And the fixation and fear of one man only underscores the weakness and rot at the heart of the system that Putin has built.
And Kremlin spokesperson has said Putin was informed of Navalny's death, Renee, and he says on behalf of Putin that the prison service would look into Navalny's death with the standard line of procedures.
And Kamal, talk a little bit about why Navalny was such a controversial figure in Russia.
That's right, Renee. That stems back to more than a decade ago when Navalny was one of the strongest opposition voices to Vladimir Putin. And, there was a time where he was gaining a lot of attention by focusing on corruption in Russia. One of his main standpoints was trying to break those murky ties between politics and large-scale businesses in the country. And he really resonated with his supporters because of his focus on democratic rights and human rights. In 2013, more than 10 years ago, he was convicted of embezzlement in what he and his supporters called a politically motivated prosecution. He was sentenced to 5 years in prison. We spoke earlier of a previous attempt on his life while traveling to Siberia in 2020. He had felt sick, and it was later determined that he was poisoned with a Soviet-era nerve agent. He did survive, and now passing away from what we know while serving a 19-year sentence in a remote Arctic penal colony. Once again, plenty of reaction coming in, and a Kremlin spokesperson said they're going to investigate this, but take that for what you will.
All right, CTV's Kamal Karamali reporting. Thanks for this, Kamal.
You're welcome.